demo, you'll learn how to write a MapReduce program to determine the word count of a document. Open the Cloudera Quick Start Virtual Machine, or VM Terminal. Since you will be using Cloudera on a Unix system, you will come across some Unix-centric commands in this demo. I will explain the format and purpose of all such commands in case you are not accustomed to them. To create any program or file, you need to first write VI, followed by its file name. This opens a separate terminal where you can type text. Let's first create a test file containing some random sentences. Enter the escape key, and then type :WQ to save and exit the file. Use this code to view all the files, folders, and directories. You can see here that the test file is listed right at the bottom, which means that your file has been successfully saved. To view and verify the content of the file, use this code. Next, create the mapper. Recall that it's the first phase of the MapReduce program. As done earlier, type VI followed by the file name. In this case, we also mention the extension to specify that it is a Python program. Note that this will be our first line of code in Python. Therefore, we need to specify the interpreter to be used. The shebang or hashbang informs Unix systems that the lines of text that follow is a code, and it has to be run by the Python interpreter on your system specified by the given path. Import the system library. Hadoop streaming allows you to exchange data between the mapper and reducer programs using the standard input and standard output functions. You can use Python's built-in sys.standardin and sys.standardout functions to do this. Use the Python built-in strip method to remove the leading and trailing spaces from a given dataset. Then, use the split method to break the lines into words. Use this code to assign each word a value of 1 and print the output to the console. This completes your program. Just as you had done earlier, enter the escape key and then type :WQ to save and exit the program. Once again, you can use the ls, lrt, and cat functions to view the saved file and its contents. The reducer is the second phase of the MapReduce program. To create the reducer program, open the separate terminal as before. Import the system library and the item getter function from the operator library. Set the values for the current word and word to none and current count to 0. Use Python's built-in standard input method to obtain the output of the mapper program created earlier as the input for this reducer program. Use the strip method once again to remove the leading and trailing whitespaces. Parse the input obtained from the mapper output. Convert the count, which is now a string value, into an integer using the int typecast method. The sorted map output from the intermediate state is taken into account. The reducer increments the count of each word and outputs the words with their respective word count. Save the program. View the reducer program file and its contents. When you execute the mapper program over the test file using this code, you can see the output shown here. Use the Hadoop HDFS command followed by the Unix list command and the file location to view the files stored on HDFS. Note that none of the files you have created right now reflects on it. To place the files on HDFS, use the Hadoop HDFS command followed by the Unix put command, file name, and location. Verify if the file has been successfully saved. You can see the test file listed here. Add this code next to submit the MapReduce job. Use the Hadoop jar command to access the Hadoop jar files you need to use Hadoop streaming. Next, specify the location of the jar file, followed by the locations of the mapper and reducer files in the home directory. Continue the command line by mentioning the mapper and reducer functions for Python and the locations of the input and output files. Once the job is submitted, it runs the mapper first and then the reducer. Once the map task is completed 100%, the remaining tasks begin. Check the output on HDFS using the command shown here. You can see how many files have been successfully executed. Finally, view the output and verify the output count. Note that mapper assigned the value 1 to every word indiscriminately. However, the reducer identifies the number of times a word is repeated and sums up the count. Open the All Applications window. View the Yarn Resource Manager and the status of the job. You can see that it is successfully completed. In this demo, you learned how to write a MapReduce program to determine the word count of a document.